there are at least three powerful things that clobbered me while I was working on this new book, Reading the Bible Supernaturally. One is the enormous, incalculable role that Bible reading has in God's accomplishment of His ultimate purposes for the universe. I mean, I don't think most people make that connection. I haven't made it explicitly to myself. Like, if people don't read the Bible and read it well, the way God intended, God's purposes for the universe won't happen. Now, if that makes people think, well, then they're uncertain. No, they're not. They're not uncertain because God, Jeremiah says, is watching over His word to perform it. Like, He doesn't make promises and then say, I wonder if my promises will come true. I'll make some predictions. I wonder if those predictions are going to come true. That's not the way God talks. His word makes things happen. And so He's watching over His word to see to it that His bride knows how to read it and reads it and experiences the transformation of worship that is the ultimate goal of the universe. So that's the first, kind of sobered by how important our work is in helping people read the Bible. The second one is that the supernatural nature of that reading means Bible reading is impossible without divine help. Now, where this hit me was with the Pharisees. 6 times Jesus looks the Pharisees and once the Sadducees in the eye and says, have you never read? Meaning their view and their behavior was such, Jesus concluded, that could never come from a right understanding of my book. And so He looks at him and says, have you never read? Well, what makes that so amazing is that's pretty much all they did was read. They probably knew the book more or less by heart. And Jesus says, you've never read it. I thought, I don't want that ever to be said to me. I don't want to come to the end of my life devoting myself to the Bible and have Jesus look me in the eye and say, did you never read what I wrote? You missed it so bad. So I wrote a chapter or 2 on what did they miss? What was wrong? So that was huge. Just that the reading of the Bible is so supernatural, you can give yourself naturally to it for a lifetime and miss it. It was just enormous. And the last thing I would say is, in spite of that, namely that to see what's there requires a miracle, reading is natural. We teach our kids to read A, B, C, dog, cat. We teach them how to read. It's a very natural process. You have to learn how to read in order to see what's in the Bible, in order for the supernatural action to bear fruit. Natural processes of thinking and reading have to be going on. So how do they intersect? How do you do that? I wrote 14 chapters about that. So that felt really big to me because we spend a lot of time at Bethlehem College and Seminary and at Desiring God helping people do the natural act of thinking and construing words and clauses, sentences, paragraphs. So that was a third huge thing. So those are 3 of the big impacts that hit me while I was writing.